Good morning, this is Jason Sen from daytradeideas.com. It is the 5th of November. We're looking at a chart of natural gas, daily chart. Getting fairly interesting, this one. You can see we had a bit of a run up through the summer, and then as we've hit October, we started to sell off towards the end of October. Okay, so what happens next? Well, we're going to scrunch this chart up a little bit just to show you a trend line going back to the beginning of May, end of April almost, really. This is what's important at the moment, I think, this trend line, this big black trend line going there. So what does it mean? Well, you coincide that with the Fibonacci retracement, which we're hitting at the moment. Now, we've rolled over to debt contract and we've gapped lower here, but you can see that 3.412 is very important fib support, having retraced 61.8% of that rally up from the middle of August. This is very important support. If this doesn't hold, nat gas is going to be in trouble, and then we're going to continue down to the trend line, which comes in at 33.62. So we need to watch those levels today. We are getting quite oversold on the daily chart, but the stochastics are still negative. The MACD is also very negative. So this is by no means a low risk trade, because the momentum is certainly very negative, but it is good support. So you've just got to watch this 34.12 area. This also happens to coincide with this low here, which is down at 34.02, which I believe is the low for September. So you can see that sort of 34.12, 34.02 area should at least act as good support, and if it does, we could see these negative stochastics turn higher relatively quickly, perhaps before the end of the week. I've just flicked over to a shorter term chart here, the 4-hour chart, just to give you an idea for the next day or two. Again, stochastics very oversold, MACD getting close to turning positive. We wouldn't need a big move higher in order to give us a little bit of a buy signal there. So, you know, we're on the verge of something that could be quite positive if we can just hold on to those support levels. You can see we've bottomed at 34.06, which is pretty much exactly where we need to bottom, so we need to hold that area again today. If we do and we push higher as hoped, well, we've got a bit of a gap to fill, which also coincides with the first Fibonacci target for the bounce. So that's going to be 35.10, 35.15. That's where we're looking for the first target for natural gas if we get the bounce as we've hoped for. And you can see some fib levels above there. 35.83 is an obvious one. If I flick back to the daily chart, we'll see if we've got any bigger levels. Well, we've got 35.00, but that pretty much coincides with that gap. So anyway, if we're really lucky, probably not before the end of the week, but at some stage next week we might even get as far as 35.86, 35.96, which is a big fib level, and it's also the 100-day moving average. At this stage I'd be surprised to see it any higher than that. So that's the upside potential. If, however, we start breaking below 34.00, it's not going to look good. We're going to be trying to test this what is it, something like an 8-9 month uptrend line, I think, around 33.66, and that really is the last hope for the bulls. If we close below there any time this week, we're in trouble, and we're going to continue lower to at least 32.87, I'd suggest, which is this fib support area there. Okay, that's our look at natural gas for today. I'm Jason Sen at daytradeideas.com.